Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. Today, I've got with us, live from LA, Marina Yanay-Triner. Hello, Marina.
Hi.
Nice
And you got my name right, which is so exciting.
That's very good. Welcome to our Wellness Wednesdays and to take the time to speak to us. Marina, you are in a very exciting time of your life because you're about to launch a new business venture. Can I call it business venture? Is it a new project?
Yeah.
Called Rooted. So, will you tell my community what Rooted is all about?
Yeah, I'm so excited. And I'm also so excited that you're going to be part of it. So Rooted is a school and community for ethical brand owners, mainly in food, fashion, and beauty, but we're also open to more, conscious brand owners that want to learn how do we do this thing called business in an ethical way and also connect with each other because it can be a very lonely world out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say if you had to put some bullet points together? What are the values of Rooted?
Definitely community and connection and over competition. So it's so cool because every single brand owner I've talked to and interviewed when this idea came about, everybody was like, we need to connect to other people and we want to collaborate. Like we want to create things together, whether it's like a fashion brand and a beauty brand, coming together. And that I love that. And I just love how this is a very conscious community. So I'm actually in my half of my life, I am a coach, and I love that I'm going to bring this into Rooted as well. I've asked a lot of the brands and they're like, yes, we want coaching. I'm like, okay. So it's a very conscious community. It's not just about how we do business, but we bring that consciousness and those ethical values into our lives and really being mindful about how we live life, how much impact we have and how do we impact. And love and connection are huge. Creativity, what I'm envisioning that I really hope is going to happen, that we come up like with some super cool material because there's all these, mushroom and apple leather now and all this cool stuff. So I'm really hoping that we come out with some really cool material or just some innovation into this world, because, that's what's happening now. As resistant as I am to technology, sometimes it's pretty cool. Yeah. And also justice and equity and creating a world where we lead with those values of really looking at who are we impacting, how do we impact them, and who is included. Like, are we just helping rich white people? Are we like really including people in our decision making as well? So for us, like in By Choice, which is our like mother brand, I guess, and also in Rooted, we always kind of ask with every decision, like, who are we impacting here, besides like making money? So that's really big too.
Yeah, and you were mentioning not only fashion, right? You said fashion, food, and beauty. And I like that because, yes, of course, networking is great to further one's brand, not only, but also to widen one's horizon and the further creativity. But what is also wonderful is what you can achieve with networks in terms of collaborations. Because if you find brands that have similar values or the same ethos, or maybe even the same mission, when we collaborate, we reach even wider audiences. And so our message can be wider spread than it would be if we only spread it with our own brand. So it's actually a great concept.
I'm so glad that you said that because I was like going back and forth. I was like, okay, there's a lot of resources and communities for fashion that I have
Mhm.
found. I didn't find as much for beauty and food. And the more people I talk to, everyone's like, no, we want all of them in here. So I'm really glad for that affirmation.
And there will be more and more sustainable brands and companies that deal with sustainability. I did a talk in a private school here in the UK yesterday, and I was talking about sustainability, the importance of it, and about the brand. And one of the questions that I got at the end was, do you think the sustainability is now a trend or is something that is here to stay? And I said, look, it's here to stay because it's a little bit like a necessity. Like when you go to a restaurant, on the menu, you need to know which allergens are included in which dish, right? That's a new thing. We didn't have that 10 years ago, but it's one thing that started and is here to stay. Or even the nutritional facts on the labels. That's also a standard thing. And so I think in future, every brand will have to be transparent in how sustainable they are and what impacts they leave on the environment, because we are unfortunately in this climate crisis at the moment. It's not going to go away unless we make radical changes. And so it's quite essential that sustainability will be made part of the business plan of any business in any industry now, tomorrow, and for forever.
Yeah, it's so cool that it's becoming like mainstream. Like my mom yesterday, she bought me a shirt at Costco and I was like, Mom, I don't want, mainstream fashion. Okay, I'm going to look up this brand. I look up this brand and on the main like toolbar of their or header or whatever of their website, it says sustainability. And I click on it and they're like detailing the factories. And I was so happy about it. And
Oh,
I
that's
really,
great.
it's so cool. And it's Costco. Do you guys have Costco in England?
Yeah, we do have
Okay.
Costco. And actually, I
It's
got myself a Costco, but you need to be a business to be able to shop at Costco, right? So I got myself a card when I launched a business, and then I never went to actually validate it. So I think it expired. I need to give myself.
well, here you don't have to. Here it's for
Oh,
individuals.
really?
Yeah. But I mean, there's great stuff. And I was just so excited that this brand is mainstream. And yeah, I think honestly, when I just reflect on the, older generations, it's almost like we're kind of like going backwards right now, because it's like, how can we do local stuff for so many people? And how can we make like the mainstream go smaller in a way?
Mhm.
But then like the generation of my grandparents, and I was talking about this with my mom, they literally didn't have the space, the emotional, physical, mental space to be thinking about this stuff because they were so much in survival mode. So they were just like surviving. And luckily for us, we have that privilege and luxury to be like, oh, this shirt, where is it coming from? Who made it? I mean, my grandma was sewing most of the clothing in my family in Ukraine because it was communist. You couldn't get anything from abroad. So she would literally learn to sew so that she could make beautiful clothes for her and for my mom and then even for me. So everything is changing.
Yeah, everything is changing. It's true. Yeah, my personal experience was totally different in terms of sustainability because when I lived still back with my parents, we were living a quite sustainable lifestyle because my parents grew up during the war. So you buy what you eat. You don't throw any food away.
Yeah.
There's absolutely zero waste. I mean, if there was bread left over, we would use it to make breaded chicken, for example. It would be hard and you would grate it and you would use it like that, or would feed the ducks, right? I mean, we would never throw out bread. And we had one nice outfit, for going out, one for church, and the rest, we would alter and mend it. Shoes, we would take them to the cobbler if they needed mending. Lots of alterations all the time, and we would have home clothes. Something that we put on at home as soon as we get home. yeah, so it was all very, very sustainably run actually. And then I moved to London and I was busy with everything. And I didn't have a washing machine, and so I discovered fast fashion. And I had no idea that it's so bad, but it was so readily available. It looked like the stuff on the runway, but it was like a tenth of the price. And you think, well, okay, well, why should I go to laundrette 3 times a week? I can go on the weekend, and I can just get myself a new blouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was horrible, and then I discovered, this new, the facts, the facts around fast fashion. But anyways, enough me waffling here. I wanted to ask.
No, it's super interesting. Yeah, I do resonate with that. I think my grandma, like, it's funny. I watch her now and it's like, she'll be sustainable, not because she cares about sustainability, but like, turn off the electricity, turn off, so that to save money.
If you're not in the room and if you're not in the room anymore,
it's all like a war survival thing, which is, but it does coincide in a lot of ways. For me, if we're talking about sustainability, my big move, so there's like, in my mind, and for Rooted, we have like people, planet, and animals. And 10 years ago, my partner, who's a co-founder of Rooted, went vegan. And then Terry, our third partner, I think she's been vegan longer than us, maybe 11 or 12 years. And so then, here I am, like, thinking I'm so good, like I'm doing the perfect things, I'm not harming animals, it's good for the environment and all this stuff. And then a friend of mine who was also vegan was like, it really annoys me that in our community, in the vegan community, nobody pays attention to anything else. Like, what about the things that we wear and we buy? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And she started, sharing how difficult it was to find these things. Now it's changing, but still, when you have all these criteria and you become very knowledgeable about what you want, there's all these things. There's the people that it affects. There's how you get rid of it and dispose of it. There's the materials you use, the process you make it with. And she really just enlightened us. And we started to pay attention, and not that we are perfect at all with any of this stuff, but at least, like, it's cool because I feel like I'm going through that process that I did with veganism, which was like slowly, letting go of some of the things and putting in more plants. And with this, my clothes, I find it really easy now. Like, I either buy secondhand or I'll buy from an ethical brand. But there's like things that are more challenging, like, I don't know, furniture or, just like expensive stuff. So there's like, okay, in the future, I want all my furniture to be like handmade and things like that. But it's a journey.
It's a journey, yes. It's not a final destination. I mean, this is not my personal quote. I heard it from Roberta Lee, but it's true. It's all a process. But so tell me, what was the process? What was your morph moment that actually inspired you to establish this new venture with Rooted? Because I think you were a coach before.
Yeah, I'm still coaching. I coach people who feel any kind of stuckness in their life. Okay. And it actually came from my business ventures. Like, in all my businesses, I used to feel really, really stuck, and I would learn. I mean, I'm super knowledgeable with marketing and all these kinds of things, and I enjoy that stuff, but it wasn't getting me to where I wanted. So then I started to learn about the body, how we get stuck in our bodies, like we're disconnected from our bodies and our truth. And it's completely changed my coaching business. So then I was like, okay, this is what I want to actually coach on. So what transformed my business, I started actually teaching and coaching people on, and I love it so much. And actually, a lot of my clients end up being entrepreneurs. So Tome and I, who's my life and business partner, we founded by choice, like our main brand, I would say like 3 years ago. And then it was way too much for me for us to work together and live together and talk about work all day. So I kind of quit, and he was very upset. But I was like, okay, I think we're going to continue this somehow. I don't know how yet, but it's going to happen, but not now. And then we went on a backpacking trip with our friend Terry. And backpacking is really intense. We went for 5 days and we were together all the time. And you're just in nature, no phones, nothing to really do except bond. And so we were like talking, and she was telling us how much she wants to have her own business.
Mm-hmm.
And we were telling her about By Choice. And she's like, I kind of want to join you guys. So about a year, maybe a year and a half ago now, she joined us, and it's been so fun. Like, working with your friends is just the best thing. I mean, the dynamic is so good, and we learned so much about life and each other, and we also work together, and it's just been so much fun. And then I kind of said, By Choice is more geared, it's a B2C, to customers, consumers.
Yeah.
But then I said, I really, really, really want to support entrepreneurs. Like, I am one, I've been one for like almost 7 years, and it's so much fun and I love it. And I want to support these businesses because they're the ones that are going to change this world. Like, businesses like you're the one bringing the ethical products to the world that we so need. But I am imagining, I know for me, it was like a very lonely journey. There's a lot of kind of unethical business even practices that are taught everywhere, even with marketing. Like, I experienced that, and I was like, this is so not authentic to me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, I just want to be me. And I figured it out in my business. And along this journey of the last 7 years, I met the most brilliant people in marketing and sales and copywriting and branding. I mean, the whole thing, fundraising. And I was like, I can bring these people together to teach. Like, I know it's going to be so easy. Our advisor was like, are you sure you could do this? Is this like, are people going to come? It's like, okay, you just watch. And basically we're full until like May or June, I think, with speakers. So the speakers
already, really? Wow,
yes.
That's amazing. And how are you going to run this? Are you going to do like a schedule, or do you do every day, a particular day of the week? Are you going to have some teaching going on, or how is that going to work?
So it's looking, we already have the schedule planned out. It's once a week pretty much. But everything is going to be recorded, and we're on PST time. So in the US on the West Coast. So we're doing like 9 a.m. and 5
I'm not jealous.
I know. It's so beautiful and sunny.
I know, it's so nice.
So we're basically alternating between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. so that it works for everybody in the world. Okay. And so once a week or twice a month, you'll have a teacher, any kind of teacher. And then twice a month, there's a networking event. The networking events are pretty like, planned out. So it's not just like people showing up and talking, but because, we're on Zoom, there's like a schedule, there's going to be some time for fun and silliness and connection, and then time to also share like an ask and a give. But it's going to be, I mean, we're all flexible about it. So we want to see like what's working, what's not. And then about once a month, I'll be doing coaching.
Oh, that's superb. That's fantastic. Because, one of the things that I found really difficult in business, apart from being alone, is that when you know what your weaknesses are and you want to fill those gaps by hiring contractors, is that, of course, there is a huge supply of them, but a lot of them are not really what they appear to be. Because when you're not knowledgeable in a particular field, it's very easy to be sold a service, like the belief that they're doing it well or they're experienced, because you're basically a lay woman or lay man. So I let's say I felt that I fell a little bit into the trap of this lack of knowledge and people taking advantage of me.
Yeah, remember we talked about that when we first
And
met.
it's not a nice thing. But I mean, obviously now that 2 years down the line, I've made new contacts. I filtered out the bad people, and I've got quite a few genuine ones. But yeah, it's great to have a source like Rooted or similar platforms that exist to have access to these genuine professionals.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also one thing we're going to do is we're going to have a massive like directory. So everybody's going to put in all of the people that they have worked with that they trust.
So,
Hi, doggy. They're like, we want to be in the conversation. So they're going to put in like the names and contact details of people, whether it's in marketing or manufacturing. And of course, like our guest speakers, you'll be able to hire and work with for sure, whoever, seems like a good fit for you. So, and I think the other piece, this is where I come in with coaching, is like trusting your intuition on people, which in my experience, when I was more disconnected from myself, it was like, I don't know. And it was in the mind and I was like thinking, but now it's spot on. I mean, it's so cool. Like we hired our intern. I had an intern for, I think she was with us for like almost a year. And within 5 minutes of talking to her, I talked to all these people I knew, 5 minutes. And it was like the best, relationship. And of course, sometimes but you kind of go wrong and that happens. But sharpening that connection and listening to yourself is also like a piece. And then knowing the names of the people.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's great. Wow. So 11th of November or 17th of November, I get confused. 11th, you launch.
Sorry, can you
When
say
do
it
you
again?
when do you launch? 11th of November?
Oh, the 11th. Yeah.
It is.
11/11/21. We played with numbers. So
Oh,
on the
that's great.
11th, yeah, we're going to have our first networking event. And then
Okay.
on the 19th, we're going to have a guest speaker on copywriting. And we are actually keeping it free until the end of the year. So I really want as many people to know about this as possible so they can take advantage. And then we have 3 pricing options that are very affordable, and basically people can pick what they want to pay. So it's completely trust based. Like we're not telling you, it depends on how many employees or how many years in business. It's more of like, if you want to be supportive of others in the community and kind of sponsor them, then you pick a different amount. So
Okay.
we're excited.
And sponsor in what sense?
Because we basically put in like 3 amounts that you can pay.
Okay.
I think I might get this wrong. The lowest is $30 a month. It's between 30 and 100, basically like 3 tiers. But
Okay.
we decided that we want to do it by the trust method. So one is like the middle one is basically how we see the experience is worth. The lower one is people who are just starting out and they need someone to sponsor them and support them. And then the higher one is people who want to support others in the community who are not paying kind of like fair price, if that makes sense.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And how you said you are 3 co-founders.
Mm-hmm.
How do you split the tasks within the business?
So I am in charge of marketing, but with Rooted, that's not the only thing I'm doing. I love connect. So this is what we figured out, our zones of genius. Terry and I are kind of partnering on this. And then Tome is a programmer. So it's pretty clear, what he's doing. But for us, like he's kind of customizing. We have a beautiful website on Mighty Networks, which is like an alternative to Facebook group, so that it's off of Facebook where people can chat and ask questions, and all of our events will be listed on there and you can easily add them to your calendar. And so Terry and I are kind of like co-piloting this, and we figured out I love these things, like connecting with people, educating, sharing. So I'm doing that. She's reaching out to a lot of brands. I also did that in the beginning. Yeah, that's pretty much, and words. I like words. I like writing. She
Oh,
always,
great.
because she was like, we need to write emails, both like for education and also to promote once we switch to a paid plan. But I'm not worried because you'll do it in like a day. And I was like, yeah, I got it. I love writing. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
great. Super. That's very exciting, and it's across the globe, right? It's not just in the US
Yeah.
because obviously I'm not. I'm on the other side of the pond.
Yes.
So
Hopefully you'll
great.
come and visit us in sunny California. But yeah,
Well,
it's
you know what? I might be there next summer.
amazing. For vacation, for fun, or for work?
No, well, depends. My daughter is applying for university, not far from you actually, in Orange County,
Okay, which school?
Chapman.
Cool. Yeah, that's
So she's
not far at
applying. So
all.
if she gets in, I mean, she's applying also to Canadian universities. So, she's got a few choices there, but let's see. So that's we would like to we would like her to get in there, and if she
Yeah.
I'll come and
And
visit
if
you.
she needs support, I remember those days of going to school.
Yeah,
I can help and chat with her and whatever she needs.
that's very sweet of you. Thank you. I'll miss her so much.
Yeah, I know. My
Anyways,
my mom
my
was
husband,
lucky because I
my
went to
husband,
school here in San Diego, so she was lucky.
yeah, very lucky. Yeah, my husband said I can tell you probably want to rent out an Airbnb for 1 month while she settles in. So maybe a bit longer than that. No. I've got a boy here too, so I can't just do that. But yeah, exciting times for Rooted, exciting times for the ethical and sustainable community to have you launching this wonderful platform very soon.
Thank you.
So
We're so excited.
yeah, I am too, very much so. Thank you very much for coming on the call today and telling us all about Rooted.
Thank you for the invitation. I was so excited because I just love you and I love what you're doing with Morph Bag, the most beautiful bag. So
Oh,
I'm super excited for what you're creating in the world.
thank you very much, Marina. So I wish you a good rest of the day.
Thank you. And you have a good night.
Thank you very much. Take care, Marina. All the best.
You too.
Bye.